Should you get paid for the gigs you do? Well, the short answer is yes, but the long answer is no. And the reason why, well, I'll go into detail. So basically, obviously everyone wants to get paid for doing a gig. Everybody. Everyone who's in a band. I don't care who you are, you're going to want to get paid for that. But not everyone can get paid, and the reason is because at the end of the day, the people who you're playing for, it might be a small club, whatever it is, that venue, that business can only afford so much. And is that gonna, as you doing that gig, is that gonna generate them more income? Is it gonna make profit for them, or are they gonna have a loss? Because some people have the mentality that a band that has about 100 likes on Facebook that might get maybe 5 people showing up at the gigs at a push, because we all know what happens when friends say they're gonna come to gigs. They don't. That's just the truth. If you're bringing in 5 people, that's 5 potential people putting money into the bar, maybe paying money on the door, anything like that. And let's say your fee is £500 for argument's sake. Well, even if the total of the 5 people spend, I don't know, maybe £50 each at the bar, realistically, they're probably not going to stay long enough to spend that much money, because realistically, they probably don't want to, be there that long, because the chances are that your friends don't even like the music you make. So that's not even going to... Even if you got 5 people, what's that? 5 times 50? £250. Well, that £500 they've invested into you to play that gig, that's not even half of what they need just to break even. And then you don't just have that cost, you've got the cost of the sound engineer, you've got the cost of the bar staff, everything like that. You've got the electricity bills, everything. It's all money, it's all cost. And obviously, you've got to take that into consideration. Now, obviously, if you're coming from a long way, it makes sense that it's fair. It's only fair to ask the venue to at least provide some kind of travel expenses, especially if you're coming from a long way. But you got to think of it like this. A big band like Metallica, for example. I mean, Metallica's not going to play in some pub, middle of nowhere. That's just not going to happen. But let's say, for example, Metallica were they weren't as big as they are. They're smallest band, but they're big. They probably could charge 500. They could probably charge thousands because of the Metallica. They're a massive band, and people are just going to want to come see it because they're going to bring them people in. People want that. They've got that kind of value to the venues. They're valuable because they've got the following. But you as a local band, you as someone who's not got that following, you're not going to be able to provide that. So it's not worth it for the business owner to invest in that, if that makes sense. And you might see it as arrogant, in a way, ignorant of the venue owner to say, oh well, it's good exposure. And it does feel like an insult, because obviously you might have been working on your music for 10-15 years of your life, maybe even more, and it probably does feel like an insult that you're not even getting paid for it. That's just the way the world works. If you're not providing value to someone or something, you're not going to get the same value in return, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically the bottom line of it. Another thing I'd like you to consider as well, and this is something that I've realised recently: does it really matter if you get paid or not to do a gig? Because at the end of the day, you're in a band, you're making music, you're playing music. Why are you doing it in the first place? Are you doing it because you enjoy it, which I hope you're doing? I hope that's the reason you're doing it. Or are you doing it because you want to make money? Well, unfortunately, 99% of bands don't make it. They don't make money from it. Even big bands that are touring up and down the country, across Europe, across the world, they probably don't even make as much money as you might think, because you've got to consider, tour buses, how much does that cost just for a week, just to rent that out? Fuel costs, travel costs, hotels, everything like that. It all adds up. Hiring roadies and everything like that. It's not cheap. That's really all I've got to say. If you enjoyed doing it, does it really matter if you get paid? That's all I'm saying. Say it's a local open mic night in your local town centre. Maybe there's not a lot of people showing up. Maybe it's just whoever's there. But if you're going down, it's bus ride into town, quick drive into town, maybe it's free parking, or maybe you pay, I don't know, £5 to park up. But you do a gig and you enjoy it. Is it really such a big deal that you don't get paid? That's all I'm asking you to consider. It's not a big deal. If you enjoy it, does it matter if you get paid? That's all I'm saying. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. Goodbye.